morning, everybody. So first, thank you guys for all the super amazing and positive feedback I got from the 3 days in a row of videos I did learning how to screen print this week. That was awesome. You guys are the best. Man, I wish I could make daily videos more often, but it's hard. I didn't even have to film them. They were already shot. I just had to edit them every day, and that alone was like, that was stressful. But I'm hoping as things pick up around here and I'm gonna have more interesting stuff to do and film on a daily basis that we're gonna hopefully kick it up a notch from once a week to maybe a couple times a week. Don't quote me on that. I'm not promising anything, but that's a goal of mine. It was also really cool to see how many people jumped on the shirt giveaway thing and how many people were pumped about it and how many people were willing to pay for these things, which is something I would have never thought of because it's not even a brand, it's just my print shop logo, but people seem to want them. So maybe when the website goes up, I'll set up a little merch store and make a few different colors and ideas of that stuff. I don't know yet, but that was awesome to see though. And the people who won, your stuff is already on its way, so you should see it shortly. And something else that happened while we were away, the construction is finished in here, so that's awesome. And we will get to the whole print shop tour explanation, whatever video, probably next week. I think there's a cat trying to get through here. Anyways, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the whole screen print video thing because we're back for some more of it. So if you don't already know, this is my brand 38 Ride Company. Oh, missed. So the goal with it this year is obviously to expand the product line quite a bit and bring on new things, you know, like riding gear and things of that sort. But one of the other things I really sat down and thought about was to really improve on all the little small detail stuff. Because believe it or not, when it comes to running a brand, as minuscule of a detail you think something might be, they all start adding up in the end to become a big thing. Obviously, you should focus on improving your product first and foremost because that's what people are paying for and that's where they expect quality. But now I've gotten past that point. Now I know my product is good. I've made the necessary improvements. So the small detail stuff I'm looking to improve is kind of all over the place. But one of the main things that I definitely want to improve is the packaging because that's the first thing people see when it shows up on their doorstep. So there's a few things that are being improved now that are kind of out of my grasp of improving within this space, like, you know, improving these little thank you cards that I toss into every single order, or I usually write a little thank you note on every single one because, you know, I want people to know that I appreciate their supporting my brand. Getting custom packing tape made so I can ditch this clear stuff because, I mean, the more branding the better, and, you know, it adds a little bit of flavor, makes things look a little cooler when it shows up. But the most important thing that I can improve here is the packaging itself. So this right here is the most commonly used piece of shipping material in this place by a long shot. I have been hand spray painting these boxes with stencils since day one. I can't tell you how many thousands of these things that I have personally spray painted, put together, and shipped out. The number is probably crazy. It might be a ghetto way of doing it, but it works, and it's something that I knew that was important because I didn't want to just have a bland, blank box showing up on people's doorsteps. I wanted them to see the logo on the side of the box and get excited about what's inside. To a lot of people, this might just be a box, but to a solid majority of my customers, it's actually something more than that, which is absolutely amazing. It's something that adds a bit of a personal connection between myself and them. It's something that they can identify with because, you know, it's something that if you follow me on social media, you have seen me paint stacks upon stacks of these. And, you know, it's something that people see and they know that I'm adding my own personal touch to it and it's something that I have made for you kind of thing. And the crazy part about it is that some people have gone further than that and have like saved these things as wall art and furniture and all kinds of stuff in their house. Like, I mean, I've been sent pictures of all kinds of different ways people are putting these things to use, and that's like the coolest thing in the world to me. And that's why these small details are so important because it's something that somebody might actually give a shit about. But the spray paint thing, it's time to put an end to for a few reasons. One is that stencil has seen its day, so now my logo isn't really coming through how it should on that thing because it's become about a half an inch thick and like 4 pounds. Like, it's crazy. I can't wait to actually retire that thing. I'm gonna frame it and put it up into my office, and it's gonna be something I can look back on and remember where I started. And two, I really just want to clean things up a little bit. You know, obviously my logo and stuff, I want it to be crisp and nice on there. And another thing is just make things more efficient because the whole spray paint thing, it's very time consuming. Now, I was considering just getting my boxes custom printed by a company and being done with it because obviously I have a lot of stuff to do as it is, so that's one less thing on my plate, but I really didn't want to get rid of that personal connection between myself and the person opening that box because that's important to me, and I know now that's important to them. But now that we got this big bastard, we can keep that personal connection so that I'm still personally making every single one of these boxes that goes out, but we can step up the quality exponentially and cut down on the amount of time it takes to do it. Now, once again, this is gonna be another first, but I know that I can use black water-based ink to make this somewhat easy, just so that the curing process a little simpler, especially it's going on cardboard, so it doesn't really need as much of a heavy duty buildup like plastisol would be. I just really have to figure out how to set up a screen and what exactly design I'm gonna put on this thing, because I don't know if I'm gonna keep this whole look that I have going so that, you know, bends around the corner like it does, or if I'm gonna make something different because now I have the ability to kind of hit the panels of the box. So let's turn this off right now. I'm gonna go design something. I just realized I totally beefed it on the registration marks, but they're not really necessary anyways. Now I know for next time. So this is where we're at. Definitely a step up from the spray paint. Didn't want to get too crazy with the design because it's a box after all, and you know, I'm not gonna be able to lay these things out exactly perfect every single time. So I mean, this is definitely good. This idea, I'm glad that hit me because that was hilarious. Now when you open the box, that's gonna be the first thing you see. Amazing. Yeah, let's figure out how to do this now. So I guess the first thing we gotta do, let's burn us a screen. All right, so that looks pretty good. As you can see, there's a little bit of distressing in both designs, which I added to kind of be a little bit of a shout out to the old spray paint days. Not sure how well that's gonna translate through printing on cardboard, but it's worth a shot. Let's get this on the press and figure it out. Okay, so I think we're set up. It looks like we're about as straight as I can get. I really wish I didn't shit the bed with those registration marks. That would have definitely helped out a lot, but I eyeballed it close enough. I think it's straight. I also added some tape lines to the palette so that hopefully we can get the box down in the exact same spot every time and not have any crooked prints. And in case anyone's wondering, we're using a 230 mesh on this because we're gonna print some water-based. So let's load it up and try this out. That looks incredible! Okay, so that right there is amazing. Like, new, old. It's not even a competition. I guess I better make sure I can print the other side first before I open my mouth. This got me a real long way, but we're setting a new standard. That's not acceptable anymore. This is friggin' incredible. I'm like super pumped on this right now. It's just a box, but I mean, this makes me happy. This looks so clean and so professional. I'm so glad that I didn't just farm this out to a company that prints boxes, because one, I keep that personal connection with this thing, and two, pretty sure this looks better than anything they would have done. This is perfect. I can't believe how well the little detail held up, because, you know, cardboard's not exactly smooth. You can feel the corrugation through it and stuff, but all the little details, especially inside the victory flags here, they're all there. So, yeah. And I mean, opening the box to get that, you can tell how happy this is making me. So now I guess we got the real test. I'm gonna do a small run of about 100 of these things to see if this is faster than spray painting. I honestly don't care if it's 10 times slower, because this is worth it. Well, there's 100 boxes. So I forgot to mention that it might be 100 boxes, but it's actually 200 prints, because I gotta flip the box over and print it on both sides to have, you know, the print going all the way around the box. So I definitely printed that faster, like a lot faster, which is awesome. I did those 100 prints in probably the same amount of time as it took me to do about 25, 30 with the spray paint, so that's ridiculous. I only ran into one problem, and I don't know which of those boxes is part of the problem, but it's not a huge deal. I'm an idiot, and I totally forgot that after I registered the screen and lined everything up to crank the screen clamps down. I only had them snug, so the screen was slowly getting a little cocked over to the right the whole time, and I've got probably 10, 15 boxes in there that, like, that's where I noticed where I was like, wow, this is crooked as hell. And it's not a big deal though. I mean, it's a box. If that was a shirt or anything else, no way that would be acceptable, but it's a box, it'll be fine. Now I have to print the other side of all these. Pretty sure you don't want to watch another time lapse of that, me doing the exact same thing, so let's just go ahead and spin to when I'm finished. Well, that took me way less time than spray painting. That took me roughly an hour and a half to do 200 prints, plus the cleanup, plus probably most of that time I spent dicking around getting all those camera angles. So if I were to guess, probably like 45 minutes to an hour to do all that. Pretty good. And considering that I'm brand new at this, never used water-based before, and I've only had 2 minor fuck-ups, also pretty amazing. But I can definitely improve on this process a little bit. When I was rifling them through there really fast through the dryer, I could, they were kind of sticking together a little bit when they were dropping off the end. Not enough to mess up the print or anything and really like damage anything, but enough to make it kind of annoying to, pick them up and shuffle them together real fast. Something really small, but shit like that is the stuff that gets to me. And then just getting like a cart or something to put right beside me instead of putting them on the next pallet so that I'm not, reaching for every single one. If I can just quickly like shuffle them over like a little assembly line, it'll speed the whole process up a lot. Other than that, went awesome. So I guess all that's left to do is put some of these things together. I'd say that was a pretty productive day. Couldn't be happier with the way these things turned out, man. I'm gonna be smiling about this for the rest of the day. This is so cool. I can't wait for you guys to get some of these. And if you think that me prepping all these boxes means that there's gonna be some new 38 stuff coming out, you're correct. I do have other shipping materials that I have to figure out how to upgrade now because I have 2 other sizes of boxes. One that gets used pretty moderately, and then the other one that gets used for the rare, like huge, I'm ordering the whole collection order, which has happened quite a few times, but not as much as, these things. These things go out every day. But I already have a ton of those prepped and ready to go from the spray paint stencil days, so those are gonna be in rotation for the foreseeable future until I run out of them. Then I'll figure out a way to upgrade them like I did those things. The next thing I have to figure out how to do this with are these. These are also spray painted, but I can also screen print these things too. I know there's a type of solvent-based ink I can use on these and screen print with it. So I just have to figure out where I can find that, get it over here, and figure out how to use that. So maybe we'll add that into another video. I don't know if I'll do a whole video on it. If somebody wants to see that, maybe like a how-to kind of thing, maybe I'll do it. But otherwise, there'll probably just be a clip in there and that'll be that. But I gotta find that because spray painting these sucks. Then we're just waiting for the custom printed tape and new thank you cards to get here. So we're making strides. Well, I think that about wraps it up. But if I can leave you guys with a little bit of wisdom, the little bit that I do have, is that if you're a brand or thinking about starting a brand, don't skip the little details. The little details matter. As you heard with the story before, my customers are excited when they see my packages show up on their doorstep. And it's not just because of what's inside, it's because of all the little details that added up. It's because of, the spray painted and now printed packaging, and then you open up the package and you see the personalized little thank you card in there for me, and all the extra little stuff that I've added in there to try and make this thing special and make it an experience for you when you open it, instead of just ordering from some random website. You get a blank just box at your door, you open it up, here's your shit, and that's it. Whereas instead, when mine show up, you can tell that this was done with care and the details were taken care of, and that this guy, me, gives a shit about the person on the other end buying it, because I do, and I want them to have the best experience possible with my brand. So all that little stuff adds up, and clearly now, knowing the feedback from my customers over the past 2 years, they notice it and they appreciate it, and I know I'm on the right track. So do what you can. As you saw, I spray painted these things for 2 years, so I mean, anybody can do that. Anyone can grab a piece of poster paper or a crappy little piece of plastic like I did, carve out their design into it, and use it for 2 years through like 100 cans of spray paint, and it's gonna do just fine, and people are gonna appreciate it. So you don't have to go to the crazy extent that I did. If you obviously want to, if you have the means to, obviously do that. If you think it's something you maybe want to farm off on someone else, well, then do it. If you want to contact me to do it, shit, I'll do it. Oh, and one other detail that's kind of awesome. I take all the packages to the post office myself. So like sometimes I go in there and bombard them with like hundreds of these things, but even sometimes when I go in there with just one, you wouldn't believe how many times people see this box in my hand. Well, not this one, but the old one. And they like look at it, they're trying to read it and figure out what it is. And I look out of the corner of my eye at them, and they're sitting there on their phone Googling what 38 Ride Company is. So that right there, that's what you want. But I gotta get back to doing some real work now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video today. We went from doing wheelies to making boxes, but the shit matters. Anyways, make sure you check all the links down below. Follow all my other social medias, all that stuff. Like, subscribe, all that. We'll see you again in the next one.